And this one is Great Pursuit. This is the resolve of Ryunosuke Naruto. So we're most likely hear this song during the game, if we haven't heard that already. And it feels like it's a good song to finish on. So here's the little comments from Kitagawa. A new pursuit for Resolve was the starting point for this piece, but to me, a great turnabout was already it. So I tried going down a different tangent and wound up with a pursuit style arrangement of Ryunosuke's theme. So how did I do? I hope I succeed in making you shout, "Yes!" the moment it starts playing. Yeah, because it's still like Ryunosuke's theme song, but it does sound like a pursuit theme. So here's an unused Great Pursuit theme. Okay, so the middle section is different here, making this a quieter, more subdued version with far less melodic movement than the final version. When you reflect on when this is used, the final version really does shine that much brighter, doesn't it? Of course! The first one does shine brighter compared to this one. Yeah, the middle section is quieter here. Yeah. There are more songs, there are partners, the game is a full partners unused and partners arrangement. We're gonna watch all that at another date, as soon as we hit the true ending of this story. So basically I'm gonna stream for like 3 to 4 hours maximum. Just dip our foot. If there's a to be continued, we're gonna stop. It's just to dip our foot. Just a little peek. See what's inside. And let's go to the gallery at the moving pictures and look at the final promo for evening of day 6 and the final evening. So yeah, the final evening is like, it's like the final day because it's like on the day on release. So evening of day 6, adjudication. If you're wondering what I'm eating, 8th of July, 5 p.m. Old Bailey courtroom. It's a chicken wrap. Alright, it's Iris versus Sherlock Sholmes.
The jury has reached a decision about the 6th charge brought against Ryunosuke Naruto. Any closing statement?
The prosecution acknowledged the recent rise in prominence of the sword-called Dark Hero. The modern age has ushered the demise of protagonists to my kind, the guileless genius of champion's justice.
Oh, Hurley, that was a master stroke. You didn't bat an eyelid.
However, our hero so dark, his suit as black as pitch, and the dark as a permanent abode, that I pointed to the court is a shade too far, over-egging the black pudding.
I think you overlooked something here, Hurley.
Pardon?
Nearly all the main characters that appear in Ace Attorney over the years have been defendant of some description of another, and mostly hopeless cases at that.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that being in the dark is a sure sign of a venerable Ace Attorney hero.
Ah!
Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, state your latings for the court.
Not guilty. Not guilty. Yummy.
It would appear that the jurors are unanimous in their decision.
罪深き被告人
7 days to serve.
龍之介今夜の判決は
On this occasion, the court finds you
無罪
not guilty.
やれやれ
Dear me, not the conclusion I would expect from a logical and reasonable jury, I must say.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you so very much.
I hereby call an end to this, the 6th of the defendant's trial this week.
The next trial is to be the last. I trust you all shall be in attendance.
That's right, tomorrow's the day at last, the release day.
That is all. Court is adjourned to the final trial tomorrow evening.
So we're released to be continued, but to be concluded, it should say. To be concluded, because this is the final evening. Ryunosuke Naruto 7 Days of Sin. Day 7. Oh, close trial.
なるほど、龍之介の罪深き7日間最終夜。
8th of July, 5 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, we have Ryunosuke and Asogi and...
Hereby call an order to trial the defendant Ryunosuke Naruto. For the counsels for the prosecution defense ready to proceed with its final trial.
Here luck Sholmes for the prosecution, my lord. Quite ready, I assure you. Ryunosuke is at the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruto for the defense. I've been more ready than I've ever been. Well, so you're vacating the dock in favor of the defense bench at last, my dear fellow. For the past 6 years, I've watched my friends working tirelessly to advise advocate for me. But tonight, I'm defending myself. I'll show you who's the fool from this side of the courtroom.
That's a somewhat ambiguous phrase, Mr. Naruto. Let's hope it's not you, Ryunosuke.
Oh yes, that was a bit unclear. Laudable determination, Mr. Naruto, and more timely for this evening proceedings called redoubled efforts on my part too. You see, the weeks earlier accusation paled before the great crime of which you stand accused. Everybody question mark, exclamation mark.
Order! 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 Mr. Sholmes, what are you referring? What is alleged great crime?
Very well, Ryunosuke Naruto, I hereby formally charge you of the most serious and most heinous crime. The crime of... Objection! This farce has gone on long enough! Van Zeeks! I am...
バロックバンジークス
あの方は
Oh
オ
man!
ールドベイリーの
It's the legendary persecutor known throughout the London as the Reaper of the Bailey!
なんです
The Reaper?
罪深き
Seven-day sinner, Ryunosuke Naruto. The charge is
この
murder.
罪状は殺人
Rubble. Everybody objection?
Don't be ridiculous, the defense dismissed the charge outright!
僕はやっていま
I didn't do it, I would never kill anyone!
殺人なんて
Those eyes please me, Nipponese.
本人ありもしない
They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage!
無謀なる瞳
Exclamation mark.
そうでな
The
ければ
quintessential look
我が
of a sacrificial lamb. This is a line from the first game.
極東の島国
You will be tried in your own land, in the Far East, the Empire of Japan.
海底の期日
Court will convene tomorrow, the 9th of July.
いずれ法廷
Rest assured, you haven't seen the last of me, my Nipponese friend. Rubble. Ooh la la.
なるほど様
The time has finally come, Mr. Naruto! It's the 9th tomorrow!
では
Well
行
then,
こうか
it's time to get going.
バロックバンジークス検事
Prosecutor Baraganzi, ladies and gentlemen of the international jury,
僕は必ず
I swear I'll prove my innocence. I will win!
製品版で
In the full version of the game, greatest attorney. Resolve.
歴史的な
The
開国
Empire of Japan, after opening its door, a push for
極東の
cultural
島国
transformation,
まさに今
brought great waves of
西
Western
洋文化の
influence
大
to
波が押し寄
this
せて
foreign Eastern Allen nation. An epic tale triggered by a single shot, of just one man, the turbulence of that era was at the beginning of this extraordinary story. Oh, that's the trailer for the first game!
事件を解決いたしましょう
We must solve this case, Naruto-san, by ourselves if we have to.
それでは
So then, let's also unravel this mystery and discover what event led to this curious murder. Now they see cutscenes from the second and third chapter.
僕は弁護士にな
Oh, I will become a lawyer if I have to. The runaway, oh my.
できます
And you can do it, Mr. Naruto! I completely faith in you!
僕も
And I shall be observing keenly from the wings, the clouded Kokoro. Some help would be appreciated actually, Mr. Sholmes.
大日本帝国から
From the Empire of Japan to the Empire of Great Britain, the budding lawyer and the great detective, thrown together in the most extraordinary of circumstances.
大逆転裁判
The greatest attorney adventures!
いよいよ明日
On sale tomorrow. So yeah, he was accused of murder, and that's how the game begins on the first game. Now we see the shadow of Sherlock Sholmes. Oh. You don't mean to say this is the end? But what if the great crime had prepared for Mr. Naruhodo? He'll be bereft without it.
Never mind, Hurley. We'll just have to wait for Runa and the others at Baker Street. At least we can play the greatest attorney to pass the time.
Yes, you're quite right. We shall be awaiting faithfully in London. Until we meet again, I remain your humble servant, Sherlock Sholmes. To be continued, the full version. Capcom. Alright. So, this was basically promotion for the first game, not the second one. So basically, the promotion spoils characters and cutscenes from the game before they even play it. So, I don't approve. I don't approve one bit. Okay, let's continue. The Resolve Arena Skin Final. Trial Part 1. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, so let's dive in. November 3rd, 9:14 a.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. I need to stop eating, but my chicken wrap is so delicious. I can make the perfect sauce with mayonnaise, honey garlic mustard, and barbecue jalapeno sauce. So, the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Miss Susato. Susato Miss Susato?
Huh? Oh! Yeah! Oh no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but...
Oh, I'm so sorry, of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down!
Would you mind helping me to my feet, then?
Oh dear, I'm really very sorry.
Alright, on his feet. Susato-san isn't her usual self at all. Well, that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She's just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective, not to mention...
Good morning, sir!
Exclamation mark? Oh, Van Zieks. Lord Van Zieks! Thank you for all your effort yesterday. What? Did I hear that correctly? Did Lord Van Zieks actually thanked me? What? Oh, no, nothing. I just hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday.
Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Good point. The Reaper. I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led all to this.
But you're not to blame at all, Lord Van Zeeks.
It's only because serious crimes in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? To be frank, I'm not sure what that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. Exclamation mark. That having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returns as some sort of demigod to wield the deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. When I lost him. We see the picture of the painting of the Clint. I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion. Just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginating public.
It was obviously extremely important to you, Lord Clint Van Zeeks.
Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. Oh, I know that you didn't take anyone's life. Exclamation mark. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now, tell me. Why do I detect a scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Oh, Iris, when did you get here?
Oh! I brought you one of my special blends! Hurley loves it. He said it helps him clear his head.
I thank you.
Oh.
Well, that's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a side like this. You seem different today, Iris.
Oh?
Sort of subdued, I suppose.
I am not.
What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind rather a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Sykes' laboratory.
All right then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now.
Oh, you're not staying?
Oh, I thought you want to watch today's proceedings.
Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready.
Get ready for what?
Oh, yes. Would you take this?
That's a charm. That's the one of those keychain charms, but it's not a keychain. It's actually a little doll of Sholmes, but it's a rabbit dressed in Sholmes clothes. But that's supposed to represent Sholmes. Is that one of the little felt dolls that usually dangle from your knapsack?
Yes, it's a Lucky Charms, a little Hurley that I made once.
A Hurley? It looks more like a Hurley to me.
It's for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today. Then just pull this little Hurley ears as hard as you possibly can.
What? Pull his ears?
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it.
Iris's lucky charm has been entered into the court record. A little doll of Mr. Sholmes in hair form. I've been told to tuck his ears if I run out of option at trial today. Okay. Is that an in clue? Because that wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if that's a hidden clue. Okay. I'm gonna examine it, but I'm not gonna pull its ears.
You think what we'll need is luck? I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom.
Okay, I'm gonna check the bunny. Yes, a little button here. Oh, I can only select the ears. Oh well. Here goes.
What a charming little rabbit version of Mr. Sholmes. Do you suppose this is how Iris sees him?
Dot dot dot.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Your eyes are veritably boring into the poor doll's ears.
Oh, sorry, I was just wondering. What do you suppose would happen if I were to tuck his ears with all my might right now?
I'm sure that we'll find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you really must learn stoic patience.
But I want to know now. I want to know now. Alright, so...
I just take a peek inside the courtroom, and it seems very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? Dot dot dot.
What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he hadn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see.
Was Professor Mikotoba all night too, do you think, Mrs. Zato?
Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean.
Judge Jigoku too?
That's right. Nobody appeared to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Oh.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once.
Good luck then, Bruno. Good luck, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Horace. Sorry, I'm having a bite.
And you, Mr. Reaper, I hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
We must go inside now, Lord Van Zix.
Lord Van Zingel has always been the formidable prosecutor I have to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today, I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Sogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny has in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. Third of November, 9:30 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. All right. No judge. Nobody's here. It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today.
Ah! Mr. Naruto, look!
Oh shit! Lord Strongheart is judging. Kazuma ... Yunosuke Kazuma was upheld beforehand. The ramifications of this trial now extends far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system.
The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak.
Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial. He stands up, and one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority. And he shows his unicorn scepter right to our face. All the jury's flames are lit. The 6 jurors' flames, just as was the case in yesterday's proceeding, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart. ... On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zieks. You are a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. Van Zieks ... Oh, he's banging with the unicorn's head. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Stand a rise for the trial of Baruch Van Zieks. Pigeons! No pigeons. He did the move, he did the pigeon move, but no pigeons? This courtroom needs pigeons. I'm just saying. For the trial of Baruch Van Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder. Van Zieks ... Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed? The defense is ready, my lord.
As is the prosecution.
Yesterday's proceeding brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to the superior at Scotland Yard.
Yes, he was carrying out operation in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about.
And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice.
Mr. Daily Vigil would be given the inspector's identification and present themselves around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact, he wasn't.
At the end of yesterday's lesson, Mr. Vigil had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as a chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the
Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movement on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. Had not been wound.
The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord.
Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi. Scroll.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense suggestion could not be ruled out.
Exclamation mark!
It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on the 31st of October, the day before his body was discovered.
He was killed on Halloween. Halloween.
I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details.
But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday. That the time of death was 5 p.m. on November 1st.
No indication of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled.
That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse. My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support your idea. We must investigate thoroughly. Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movement of the victims on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Why sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities?
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating the precise matter yesterday.
Exclamation mark.
I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now.
Oh, Gina Lestrade.
State your name and occupation for the court.
I always hate doing a Gina Lestrade because of the Cockney. Let's see. Inspector Gina Lestrade reporting. Representative of Scotland Yard.
A self-conferred rank, but never mind.
Gina, again? What's your problem, Hodo? What's with that, Gina? Again? Look, eh? Oh. The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did. Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean? He got me out the back slums on the East End and took me under his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right, all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes. Not at all. No.
What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation yesterday was revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about.
Very troubling. That face. Lord Strongheart knew!
So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report.
Coming up, sir! Coming right up, sir! Witness testimony. The victim's movement. All your detective is supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss office turns out a notebook and had a load of secrets meeting in it. According to that, the boss was looking into smuggled good dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't on to it yet. What matters most is there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too. Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling what's written in the book.
Tobacco, tea, spices, medicine, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed at irregular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time.
So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets? It's been suggested that high-ranking government official may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigation being leaked into the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge. And how do we know where the looting were taking place this time?
in a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentlemen's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be. We haven't heard anything about any of this.
Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Barak von Zieks, was present.
That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my, but... Lord von Zieks has made no mention of this at all! In short, Lord von Zieks has an ample opportunity to murder the victim.
Very well then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told.
Hold it!
So, you follow orders, do you, Gina?
Nah, not me. I'm above of that, see?
Oh.
The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, so go and give Toby his grub, that kind of thing.
So, errands more than orders then.
This detective, air quote, is still an apprentice after all.
Yeah, well, this apprentice had want to sit around and wait to be told what to do even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigation into what happened. I didn't find much at first. But a little search of the boss's office turned out a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it.
Hold it!
So you went through Inspector Gregson's things?
Yep, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation.
I'm sure your superior would be delighted that you're taking the initiative.
So I snuck into the office with no what else was about. Cause if anyone at the yard had been see me going in there, they have turfed me straight out of the street.
This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else.
The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook.
You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and your trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby.
On my badge 997, this is actually Lestrade's badge. Not Lestrade's, Gregson's badge.
We found it in one of these desk drawers that had a false button.
That's impressive.
So then I went through here hide myself when no one could find me and have a butcher at what there was. With the butchers and what was written in it. Because if anyone in the yard had found me out, they would have turfed me straight out of the street. I'm giving it all now, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it would never have been found. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled gold dealings that day.
Do you have any idea what those dealings were taking place?
Yup. It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club.
Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club.
That won't be necessary.
What?
It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings.
I don't know what the fuss is about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out.
And I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now.
Can't I show you what I can do? Go on, what's the harm?
The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do?
Insist.
This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there is some possibility of politician being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. Kazuma ...
No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection.
Exclamation mark from Strong Art. Kazuma?
There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Strong art, da da da. Right then! I get to show off the reading skills! Apparently, the smuggled goods deal was gonna happen at a gentleman's club called the Grouse.
Hold it!
The Grouse? What sort of a club is that? I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I'm kind of curious.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted.
Have you looked in the mirror list recently? I tell you what, me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover. Could you though? I could pick up a few good marks and see what else I could find out when I wasn't there. I really don't think that you should go picking out anything. Sorry. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it? Yeah, it's gonna be. That's what the lower ranking detectives at the yard reckon. Says the even lower ranking detective. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet.
Hold it!
So how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case? Oh, that's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so... And why did he inform Scotland Yard of his findings? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, cause, you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yes. Anyway, the point is, something went on at that club, no question. You can't say that for certain though, surely. What matters most is there's witness in the Reaper who saw the Reaper at the place too. Lord Van Zeeks was at the club.
He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest.
It looks like there's no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we do! We know that Lord Van Zeeks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he already discovered the Inspector's secret notebook.
Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably then, there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there. Kazuma da da da.
None have been identified at this time. No.
So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club. Oi! Why aren't you asking Inspector Lestrade here, eh? So that's all I've got to work with. Gina's not holding back with that ice-cold stare of hers, is she?
I really don't know what to make of all of this.
Lord Van Zeeks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident.
You don't think Lord Van Zeeks could have been lying to us too, do you?
That's not the only way to explain this.
Oh.
If everything Lord Van Zeeks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere.
You mean there are details we've yet to uncover?
Exactly. A clue perhaps that even Gina hasn't noticed. This is what we should be looking for here. Gentlemen's club called the Grouse. Well, I suppose you should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Just from putting the thing, 997. This code from the Yarzing City looks genuine to me. Department identification number details are correct as well. Okay. Commemorative photograph. Yasugi Papers. The Last Will of Genshin Yasugi. Did we inspect it? Yeah, there's a mark here. There's a gash here, there's a stain, blood stain here. Only on one side. Yeah, they say that Gregson was there at the Gentleman's Club the day before. That would be on the 31st. So this is Gregson's alibi. It wasn't a vote. When the body... Wait. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Is there a piece of evidence that related to the passport? Wes Gregson, passport number ACD 0522, date of departure within a week from October 31st, port of Dunkirk, France, purpose of travel, police business, permission for the applicant, and one additional person to travel. So I guess it's the passport, but where? I'll try here. Let's see, save. Passport.
Objection!
No. And as the judge must deny your objection, there is no contradiction here. No contradiction other than the fact that the Far Eastern lawyer is practicing a British courtroom. But thereby a not so far away Lord Chief Justice, if you remember. Put there by not so far away Lord Chief. Let me press again, just want to make sure. I have no idea. No. The main point of contention is that people saw Van Ziek's Algemon's club because he was expecting Gregson. All that he says, all that Van Ziek said was that he was expecting Gregson, but he didn't say where. So where do I find the contradiction? What do I prove here? Because he was around 9, I guess.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
There's weaknesses on the resistance race. Wait. Okay, so they saw... Okay, here's the thing. They saw Van Zieks at the Gentleman's Club, but they didn't saw the victim. A clue that Gina even Gina hadn't noticed. Hello, Tyler. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A bit tired, but I had a full appointment, and now I'm kind of stumped. I just started the final chapter, and I'm already stumped. And I was trying to go for something, but it didn't work. And I found this new piece of evidence. I have to tug his ears if I run out of options, but I don't run out of options, but just that. Search of the boss's office. Gregson's office. Smuggle goods will punch up and calls the grouse. We don't know anything about this gentleman's club. But she barely learned how to read, so there's probably a typo. They saw the Reaper at that place. Where was the Reaper? Because trying to remember what he said, but we don't have any evidence of he had this. No, he didn't have this photograph. Apply on the morning of the 31st. On the morning. Okay, I'm gonna try the newspaper. Maybe here. I'm gonna try the article.
Objection!
No. My lord is concerned with the defense. I must object to that statement. A job, but denied a decision, a contradiction. Yeah, and apparently the case is so big that now the judge has been removed, and now it's Mill Strongheart by order of the Queen that presides this close trial, because it's such a big deal. It's gonna shake the grounds of.
Objection!
No. Hello, Baha Zero. I'm doing good. All right. Hello. It's been a while. Let's give a little shout out to Baha Zero. There we go. Zero. So what you been up to, my friend? You be last? Oh, you were playing Marvel Strike Force. Is that the mobile game? Interesting. So what have you been up to? Did you have a nice weekend? Oh, you're just getting home. You're just getting home. All right. I'm rattling my head into this case, and I'm getting. This is a close court. Whatever fate befalls you in here, no one outside will ever know. Should I be wondering if I'll make it out of this courtroom alive? Weekend was good. My weekend, my Saturday was quite busy. Sunday was fine. I finished Yakuza Like a Dragon on stream, and today I finished Berserk Band of the Hawk, but it was so short I decided to take a break, and now I started playing Greatest Attorney, and now I try to figure out the case, and I'm going nowhere. It's a great game. It's a very great game, and this is the end of the second game, and it says it's the final chapter. I just wanted to take a little look-see. It's gonna be a short stream today, like no more than 4 hours, that's for sure. We'll see how I fare, and yeah. Matters most, so that we repair the place. What do I have that could disprove that? I have nothing that says Reaper anywhere, except for this. I want to read all that's in here.
There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, ain't there?
This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look.
Out of interest, the most recent things appear to be this newspaper cutting here.
Oh, it's the same Red Hair League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked up.
Do you remember there was a red hair piece at the scene too?
Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red Hair League then? Ah, maybe I should present the wig? Oh wait, they say that they didn't see Gregson at the scene at the gentleman's club, but they saw they didn't saw the victim, but they saw the defendant. But probably the victim was there because he was wearing a wig. Ah shit! I'm gonna try this.
Objection!
No, it's not it. It's very hard. I'm gonna reload and go with story. I'm gonna give up at this point. Like, this is very hard. Like, this is a good challenge. Alright. So, I'm gonna reload. I'm gonna say uncle. Sorry about this. I'm just curious. I need to know. Oh shit! Whoa, wait. What did I load? Is this the same? No, I wanted this one. I think this is it. Okay, alright, I got it. Woo! Okay, so, alright, story. What's the statement? What is the answer? Third statement. It is the third statement. The photo.
Objection!
The letter of introduction? What? Whoa. Hold it. Why is it the letter of introduction? A note of introduction on our behalf from Professor Mikotoba to Governor Caden. It's written on the back of a ticket. Oh, that's his alibi. He was on the boat. Okay. This is some sort of steamship ticket. SS Grouse. Oh shit! The gentleman club is a moving. So they were dealing illegal items inside of the boat? It's not a... Okay, shit. And Tobias... No, that was not Tobias Gregson. This was Mikotoba. Mikotoba was there. Yokohama departure, 11th of September. London arrival, 1st November. But that doesn't make sense. Because they left from Yokohama on 9/11. And then they came, okay, they came on 1st of November, but Gregson could not have been there because his passport says that he was in France, that he had to leave on the 31st. So he came in on the day before the incident. This is on the day of the incident. Okay, so this is just, the proof that says, that connects Grouse to, okay. The boat, the Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came from Japan, and now both of them are missing. I think it's called It called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. Okay, now it connects. They went to Yokohama, they stopped at Dunkirk, and they went in Dover. So he was killed on the boat? Oh, okay. I could never have figured it out on my own. I remember that this was printed into the back of a book, of a ticket, but to think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. It's a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento for your trip. Okay. I have mine safely in my diary, and I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Now I don't have my wallet. Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Okay. Now it makes sense. I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues.
Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted.
Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happened at the club named the Grouse?
The police are currently looking for evidence, but we haven't found anything definitive yet.
And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I mean that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on the 31st of October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A steamship!
You think it's a ship?
Oh, I have the evidence to prove it. Here! Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Other side, my lord, other side. Be more specific next time! Oh, okay. Ah, this would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse. Bravo.
So there's a steamship named the Grouse. Big fucking whoop. It actually just so happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there.
How?
Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port?
The ship arrived at the port of Dover on the 1st of November. Ah.
The day on which the sounds like the gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st of October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission, that ship hasn't yet docked in British shores.
That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Objection!
The fact that the steamship hasn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question.
Then show your evidence of that assertion.
Very well. In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence and substantiate your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st of October. That would be the passport. Because the ship had a stop in Dunkirk, and he was in Dunkirk. So that would be, I'm pretty sure it's the passport.
Take that!
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim? Dated 31st of October. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country. Robbo. Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized. The day before the SS Gross arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night.
According to my father, it was on board at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there?
I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruto. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport.
What? You knew about this?
The prosecution strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation, and the line of the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something.
What?
And now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be.
What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asugi?
A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception.
Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it?
The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper.
The Reaper? Rubble. Order! Order! What on earth are you saying, Counsel?
The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that.
What?
Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was in fact acting for the Reaper.
So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was...
obviously, an assassination.
Exclamation mark?
Baron von Zieks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victim lost their lives, he always has a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have an accomplice.
And you claim that was Inspector Gregson? Hold it! What the hell you think you're saying, eh? My boss would never done nothing like that!
And yet, when we consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense.
No! It can't be!
We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his order was Lord Van Zieks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Baron Van Zieks is not the Reaper.
A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man.
And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh? You have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel? Absolutely! It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Oh, wait. Yeah, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku were on that very ship. If someone has been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. What's so funny?
You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life.
What?
Gregson did board the SS grounds that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure.
Failure?
It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here.
What are you talking about? What detail?
Inspector Gino Lestrade!
What?
The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier, that doesn't contain details of a secret investigation at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey.
You're lying! Even if all the bludgers would got taken all that in common, the boss weren't the Reaper!
Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors.
I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it.
Then testify again, as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss.
I don't...
I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook. ... Okay, quick bathroom break. I really have to go. Be right back. Alrighty then. Thank you for waiting. ... New testimony. The Reaper's notebook.
Yeah, this notebook does have a roll of stuff about what the Reaper got up these past 10 years. Names of victim, dates and places and stuff. And the last entry in there was 31st of October. It says grouse for the place and that date and then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal who got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago, somewhat. But honest, the boss didn't done none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
He's crying, she's crying. A mark that got away from 10 years ago? Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established facts here. Gina ...
This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely. Were you no skate na rodo?
What can't I deny?
The notebook contained the name of the final mark and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could not have known if he was working with the Reaper.
Oh! So, who was to be his final mark?
Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st of October.
How'd you read this then? Reading's still not her strong suit. That ain't the problem, alright, Odo? It's a funny name. It ain't even English. It's hard to read. So it's someone from overseas? Oh, that means it's Japanese. Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro. Oh shit. The target was the judge. The target was the Japanese judge. Seishiro Jigoku. The guy from the tutorial. Because he was there 10 years ago. He protested against the professor. So he was a mark? What? Yeah, Seishiro. Jigok, you. Jigoke, you. What? It can't be. Seishiro Jigoku? That's Judge Jigoku! Seishiro Jigoku, certainly not an English name, you're right.
Objection.
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku and I saw him the day before yesterday here in London. So I know for a fact that the man has been assassinated.
As I said, the Reaper failed.
Oh.
Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector. Personally.
Exclamation mark.
The Reaper, of course, being the accused, Barak von Zeke.
It's an undeniably logical argument.
Kazuma.
You planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Oh, Van Zix wants to hold it. Oh, he's holding his wine. And fate... Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice while I stand accused of murder and putting my spurs on the bench, on the dock. Lord Van Zix!
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock.
I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. Breaking his check. That girl is no detective. What? Nah, that's right. I ain't. I'm an inspector. Repeating rumors heard from around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago! Exclamation mark. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony.
What did you say?
Mr. Naruto, this is our chance! My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness. Strong art, ... Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. A toast to you. Allow me to toast the court impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately. At once, my lord. The Reaper's notebook. Yeah, this notebook does have a lot of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper. No, you and all! That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret. That notebook said what he found out.
if I may. When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believed the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out on your own investigation into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes. And those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper. One arm? What are you on about? The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them all alone. The Reaper is an organization.
With you at his head? ...
I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movement, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I've been able to check the most recent entry in this book. I knew the location. You know it's at Grouse. Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate. Alone. Okay, so there really is a Gentleman's Club named the Grouse. But he went on the boat, and he went to the club. Gregson was not there because he was on the boat.
Ah, so that explains why several members of the club claim to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there.
Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk.
Exclamation mark.
Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook.
Fine.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I?
Names of victim, dates and places and stuff, and the last entry in there was 31st October, on Halloween.
Names of victim, dates, places and stuff? What in particular?
Well, besides the victim's names, this other name kept cropping up.
What other names was that?
It's the one I told you yesterday. The same name written over and over again.
You mean... Assassin?
Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or someone, isn't she?
Were you even listening yesterday? Assassin. The assassin.
What? Like a killer, you mean?
Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out where they would be vulnerable and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plan was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes.
Oh, then perhaps what it says on the passport document.
Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel.
Could that additional person have been...
Clearly the assassin, who was meant to take Seishiro Jigoku's life.
Gina! Can you confirm that against the final entry that listed Grouse and Seishiro Jigoku? What name was written? Oh, well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it as it happened. What? It just add like a question mark or so there, I think.
In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating!
A nameless assassin.
It says Gross from the place of that date and then the name. And you're saying that the mark listed was Seishiro Jigoku? That's what I said. Funny name if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd.
So pleased to have lost my crown there.
Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature.
Oh, I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago. Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. Oh, that bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say.
So Lord Strongheart was Judge Jigoku's mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Oh, precisely. In the aftermath of the Professor case, his repatriation was organized immediately. ... It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the Inspector's notebook.
I didn't think it was possible, but the mood in here has gotten even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep him talking.
Oh, wait. I started to see something here. I'm starting to see something here. The professor got executed. Jigoku protested. Then he got repatriated back in Japan. That was made by Lord Strongheart. 10 years later, there was a big symposium for all the world's people expert in justice and all of that. Jigoku was invited, and Mikotoba as well. Jigoku representing the judge, Mikotoba representing the medical coroner. They were all invited by Strongheart again. So I have a feeling that Strongheart is just playing kangaroo court. And okay, I have to protect my name because I think he's the real Reaper. I'm pretty sure he's the real Reaper. And Gregson was a tool. But I need more proof. There was a note about him being a criminal got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago. Somewhat. What do you mean a criminal? Judge Jigoku is no criminal. Don't ask me, I know nothing about it.
Oh, you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jigoku did once appear in a court in Britain. It was related to the Professor case, I'm sure.
Yes, of course, you're right.
Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous word about the British Empire for which he was charged.
So he did a bit of jail. And then he got away, but the Reaper said, oh no, he's black. We're gonna kill him. He fled the law. So with the symposium, it was 2 birds and 1 stone. It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too as it happens. You did? It was considered to be an adjunct to the Professor proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage caused to the stand.
And there you have it.
Have what?
Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilt or innocent alike.
What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Jigoku was targeted for assassination?
The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is.
Come on, that's absurd! To take someone's life for that?
Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension.
But... Somebody objects? Oh, Gina. Right, I just had about enough of this. Gina? All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's cobblers. Come on, Odo. Yes? Why ain't you saying nothing? Why ain't you yelling out objection or somewhat? What? You've got to find a flaw. You do usually.
someone's lying here, no question. You gotta work out who it is. Please, for the boss.
That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective. Exclamation mark. When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Mr. Strahd. Is that clear?
Uh-huh. I got it with the lot of you. It's lies every bleeding place you look at this word, ain't it? Well, I had enough. Gina.
So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind.
To do what, Mr. Naruto?
There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seems odd.
Oh, you mean?
I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears.
Come on, I'll help! You're gonna find a flaw somewhere!
It was a note. Okay, something that doesn't make sense. The notebook does have a lot of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victim, dates and place and stuff. Last entry was Halloween. It says grouse from the place on that date and then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal who got away from the Ripper in court 10 years ago. Already checked the ears. That's all I can do with this. Stuck the ears. Okay, I'm gonna press this one too.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. Eh?
What do you mean?
Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? Inconsistency? Exclamation mark.
Really, Odo?
I don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... Okay, it doesn't have to be said by Gina. It's probably... Okay, I need to check the history then. Okay, what's the inconsistency here? I'm gonna try Kazuma, because the Reaper kills those who have been found innocent, but is actually Wicked who played the court for false testimony or bribed the juror. So or maybe, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna try. Sogi.
Take that!
Oh, I was right. By you, Kazuma Sogi.
Me?
Is this some attempt at filibustering, Console? Prosecutor Sogi has given no testimony.
What are you suggesting I said was inconsistent?
You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you realize what you've done. Very well then, counsel. Go ahead. What evidence revealed these alleged inconsistencies in something Prosecutor Sogi has said? Regarding the MO of the Reaper, that would be the blackboard? The notice board, I mean. Shit. Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna try. Okay, this is left field. This is left field. I'm not even sure it's gonna work, but if it works, it's gonna be funny. Because if it works, I have no idea why it would work. But alright, I'm gonna throw the Asogi papers in his face.
Take that!
No, that didn't work. So my initial impression were correct. This is nonsense.
You accuse your best friend and back it up with that? Clearly, the Ryunosuke Naruto I knew is dead.
Struck down by my best friend.
I believe what you intended to point out, Mr. Naruto, was where Kazuma said. Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship dock in the northern coast of France. As shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk.
Wait! How did he know that the passport was in his trunk? Yes, that's exactly it. I take it from your expression that you're not going to let this go. Correct, my lord. I made a mistake, that's all.
What are you suggesting I said was inconsistent?
Okay, you let something slip that you shouldn't have when I present evidence. Okay. Alright, go ahead. Okay. Take two. Should it be, it's either the trunk or the passport. It's one or the other. I'm gonna go with the trunk.
Take that!
is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. Oh, what's this? There's a blood stain. A blood stain, and a relatively fresh one too. Exclamation mark. What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fishing ships? Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made it off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it, me, with me nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Cosma.
Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship dock on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk.
So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? ...
We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport?
Objection!
But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Cosma. On 31st of October, where exactly were you? ...
At the port of Dunkirk, on board of the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke?
Cosmo, what did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Cosmo was there on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose. He was the killer?
Oh no, Mr. Naruto, surely you don't think...
Come on, Ryunosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence.
Exclamation mark.
As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proven nothing.
Cosmo, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day in the same place as the inspector? Was there with Gregson? There's a clue that you overlook, a secret that Trunk can tell us. The slash. Can't be sure at this point, I need to verify it, but I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right. The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify for the courtroom where in the trunk is alleged clue is to be found. The slash. Where is the evidence that tied Prosecutor Asugi to Inspector Gregson? That would be the slash over here.
Got it!
This is your proof? What do you say to that, Prosecutor Asugi?
Personally, I think you're trying to...
Oh, wait. Yeah, the tip of the blade that was lodged in, that was not the... Oh shit, I missed it.
I think trying the defense counsel to the inspector trunk and tossing it to the sea would be more helpful.
What?
At least that way, London's courtroom would be safe from his destructive accusation.
I believe that was a rather long-winded way of telling you that you're wrong, Mr. Naruto.
Very well, then let us see if you sink or swim under the weight of this penalty, Gonzalo.
Mr. Naruto, you cannot allow yourself to be drawn to the sea yet.
Well, I was hoping never to let that happen, funnily enough. Okay, identify. Okay. I have to be more careful. Okay, I'm gonna open it. No, not there. Here, open this shit. Here. Did I get it right? You see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk there. It's glinting.
It looks like a fragment of metal of some sort, but it's wedged so tightly I can't remove it.
Well, don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think. Okay, so this is the piece. There you go. There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karma.
Of course it is.
Won't you draw it here in this courtroom for all to see? Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hawk.
That won't be necessary.
Yeah, the tip is cut.
Oh no!
The tip is broken! Exclamation mark. If the fragment of metal of the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed. Did you agree, Kazuma Sogi?
Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved.
You mean to tell the court prosecutor Asogi?
Yes, on the 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out the mission.
So the additional person authorized to travel
Was me.
and the mission was...
The assassination of the Mark.
What? What? You're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku? Da-da-da.
Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one.
Explain.
I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk, yes. But I never had the intention of carrying out the plan.
You were never going to do it?
We can't believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day.
On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. When we boarded the SS Grouse and made it to the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan.
You went to Judge Jigoku's cabin?
Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but...
But you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway.
I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning.
A boarding house in Dunkirk?
My signature will be in the register book. It will be simple enough to verify.
Then what became of Jigoku?
Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriating mastermind to pull the trigger and end his wretched agent's life. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? Da-da-da.
I don't need to answer that.
Exclamation mark. Oh yes, you do.
The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. And accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on that matter.
dot dot dot. Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. Kazuma dot dot dot.
As you wish, my lord.
The great sword Karuma has been entered into the court record. I need to check it. We must take immediate action now. No, 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 you won't. No, you won't. Let's examine the blade. Because this used to belong to Genshin Asogi. Karuma, the great blade. It's such a thing of beauty. I want to gaze on it for hours. Okay. Can I look at the scabbard? Oh, can only select the tip. Oh. Oh, it's still the tip. Yeah, it's the tip. The tip of the great sword, broken. It's such a shame. It's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Dot dot dot. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's bullshit. Just want to make sure. Yeah. We must take action now to verify whether Seishiro Jikoku remains unharmed. What? Remains unharmed?
I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday.
Oh, how did you...
When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise.
You don't mean to say that you think Judge Goku may have been killed?
The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Ziet?
Sniffing his chalice. If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. Order! Order in court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. Now? Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. If the man can be located within half an hour, we will have to assume the worst.
Oh no, not Judge Goku!
No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who only arrived here in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the neck 10 years ago.
I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, what the defenses say?
My lord?
I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties.
Oh.
Court is adjourned for 30 minutes. Okay. Now the court is empty.
Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either, but on the other hand, Kazuma is in the habit of making up stories. Susato da da da.
I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control.
I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were carrying towards a foregone conclusion. Well, if the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear.
Oh, the bunny. The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Eris gave us. Alright, we took the...
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ear as hard as you possibly can.
Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Harley's ear? Harley's ear or not? I'm gonna save. I want to see what happens if I say leave it. Because I know I'm curious. I know I said that I wanted to know now what happened. I'm gonna leave it. This is one of Iris' invention. There's no telling what might happen. Yeah, for all I know, it could cause a huge explosion. Yeah, in my mind, okay, it's a smoke bomb. I'm gonna create an exit. Pew! And then...
I'm not sure you should be thinking like that, Mr. Naruhodo. Compared to the troll ending immediately after this recess, a huge explosion might be preferable.
I'm not sure you should be thinking like that, Mrs. Zato. But I suppose you're right. If there was ever a time for taking a risk, it's now. Here goes then. I'm going to do it.
Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo.
No looking back. Heat! Ow!
That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes? What? Where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here. It's the felt doll talking?
Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can.
Alright then, I'll pull in all my strength into it. Heave! Ow! Please, my dear fellow, you don't need to pull my ear off. Okay, so now Hellock Sholmes has another doll. It's an Iris doll that shaped like a mouse.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you?
Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Grouse. The SS Grouse? She left over last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We are actually docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. You've taken a ship to France? Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board this vessel in time.
So, you already worked it out?
Oh, so he's with Mikotoba.
That the steamship was where everything really took place?
Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name?
Hellock Sholmes, world-famous great detective.
Recited to perfection! Well done!
You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it.
Ow, 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 ow. Miss Suzato, gently with this genius's ears, please.
Oh my, I'm never so sorry.
If I may, Sholmes. There you are, Mikotoba. You may remember that...
Oh, you may remember that, in fact,
You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. At Scotland Yard yesterday when we examined that notebook and I recalled my steamship ticket.
But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our card-bound companions utter my name. Mikotoba.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
we just entered a recess. The trial will resume in 30 minutes from now.
And if we're unable to present any new leads, then I'm afraid to say...
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful.
Until later, then.
Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first.
Ow, 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 ow. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion.
Whatever the idea behind that making a receiver operate that way in the first place, Sholmes.
Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's inventions, not mine.
Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Sholmes, we have but half that now because before the grouse puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigation rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long.
There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin!
Okay, we're in the ship.
First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is the one.
It looks like the Buria, but... Oh, wait. The guy... Okay, the guy looks like Beef Stroganoff, but it's not him. He has the same face, but his hair are blonde, and his sailor suit, the sleeves and the collar are not blue. They're actually blackish green.
But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow.
Why are you loitering here? Who are you?
Can I see there's something on his forearm that's written? I thought at first it was a tattoo, but it says Sig. I have no idea what it says. My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you?
Oh. Okay, now I see it, because as soon as he produced his fist, he lifted his forearm, and now we can see Sholmes written on his arms. But I was reading backwards, because I thought it was saying Solois. It was not Solois, it's Sholmes.
Do you not recognize world-traveling great seller Chicken Stroganoff when you see...
Oh, shit. My god. So he's related to Beef Stroganoff. His name is Chicken. Hikin. It's pronounced the same way as Chicken. Chicken Stroganoff. But there's no such thing as Chicken Stroganoff. It's not even Russian. Yuck.
Great detective, ha! I don't think so. I spit at your face.
Do you see that, Mikotoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine.
Goodness me, is that a tattoo? That says Sholmes?
I must say, while such adoration is flattering naturally, it does leave me a bit cold.
What are you talking about? Leave now!
How distressing my loyal devotee knows me only by name and not by appearance. And yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship, in fact.
How could you know this?
Elementary, my dear Mikotoba.
I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound to London aboard this ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jikoku.
There is no one with this name on board.
But we know that he purchased a ticket for passage.
Chicken da. Ah, you mean Eastern man. He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunker. He said something about emergency, I think.
What? Oh, are you sure? So Seishiro's realized that we're after him, has he?
His cabin is the one behind you. We would like to go investigate, please.
No! I have orders not to let anyone, even mouse, inside.
Mikotoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so that he leaves the area.
Chicken Doesn't great detectives see that even sailors have ears, both left and right?
Sholmes Curses! The plan is ruined!
And you have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes.
Forget it, cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside.
Sholmes Mikotoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you?
Opening any lock?
Within a mere 5 seconds! So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typical accommodating manner.
How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract the burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I?
Good man, so the game is afoot!
Okay, so now I play as Mikotoba right here. Okay. I can only examine.
Okay, so there's a mousetrap on the floor. Oh.
What's this button do?
Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn off the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing.
Click the switch. What is happening? Where is light?
Now, Sholmes, now!
Nobody there.
That was a close shave.
Quite a knack you have, stumbling so violently in an apparently empty corridor.
Do be quiet, Sholmes. I shall have to think of another approach.
Okay, so that didn't work. There's a door here.
That's the way back to the deck. But we certainly can't give up on this now.
Okay, so I guess mousetrap.
This must be a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow.
Try it.
Ow! Choo choo!
Chicken, that sounds like big mouse and trap.
Choo choo!
I will bring bucket of water later and put out of misery.
I don't like the sound of that.
In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound.
Was he pretending to be a mouse? The snap, I thought that he bit his, that he snapped his finger and he was yelling, and the only sound that he could make were like, but yeah,
choo choo, choo choo.
What?
I mean, squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh, you mouse, you big mouse.
Well, really, Sholmes, and pray tell, what sounds do Russian mice make?
Oh, PEP, naturally. Though almost quite unconvincing, I readily admit.
Pee-pee, pee-pee, sure pee-pee, sure pee-pee.
Go ahead, Mikotoba, do a PP this time.
No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution.
Okay, so that didn't work. Here's an alarm.
This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell will break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it.
Set it off!
Here goes, then. Pardon me in advance.
It worked. You, what are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be very bad problem.
What's going on here? Seaman Stroganov, report at once.
Oh, now he has to report. Sorry, sir, nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me, by world famous. No, as I told you.
Now, Sholmes, now! Okay, now Sholmes is unpicking the lock. And done! Not even 5 seconds. Don't just stand there gawping at my brilliance, Mikotoba. In we go!
Oh, yes.
Alright, we're in. 3rd of November, SS Grouse, first class cabin. Number 2.
Good gracious.
It would appear that the occupant of this cabin didn't dare disembark rather hurriedly. There's all the clothes on the floor.
Those clothes on the floor there, they're Seishiro's without question.
Well, it seems we're just a little too late.
Yes, by about 2 hours.
Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here.
But that burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes.
Indeed he may. Which makes it all the more thrilling. Okay, examine.
According to the report I was given, Naruto was concealing himself in Azogi's wardrobe.
Indeed he was, and it was of a similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow.
What? Whatever for?
It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruto. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment.
Really, Sholmes? Surely you can just tell me what you said. ...
Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer.
I think I just read about it in the adventures of the Hairlock Sholmes and the Speckled Band.
Okay, here we have quite the exquisite glass, I must say. I was about to say it's a tea set, but I think it's a water. See here how it...
Is something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off.
Ice, Mikotoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoyed. Chilled drink. Oh... I think I know what happened. Gregson was indeed killed in the grouse, but he was put in the where they store the ice on the boat.
Pardon?
Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think?
Well, it's a luxury liner after all. They have enormous refrigerator for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. ...
Suddenly, Mikotoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water. Mikotoba,
I've been taking on the flavor of the food I ate, you know.
And then we have a muffle. Yeah, somebody put a cloth inside this horn to muffle the sound.
There's a speaking tube here, look! Though it's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose.
Or indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere.
Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ear, do you think?
Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering.
That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it?
Okay, those are the rules. Warning.
These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishment for stowing away in wardrobes and / or travel cases.
Oh, they updated the rule. All right, so no weapons, no pets, no stowaway inside the wardrobes. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination.
What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you?
You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. And you know what I always say, Mikotoba? There is nothing important about trifles.
It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off.
Okay, here's a library.
Plenty of reading materials to keep passengers occupied on the long sea voyages. I found the mixtures of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say.
Tisk! Whoever stuck this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes or Sherlock Sholmes, my dear fellows.
I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible.
I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me.
You're a true missionary of the Church of the Great Detectives, aren't you?
There's a big luggage. That's a very sizable trunk indeed.
Seishiro is partial to all things large.
And a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he left that behind.
Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but it's still a hindrance to the speedy escape.
Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside.
Surely 5 seconds from now the situation will be quite different, though.
Sadly, no. It has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combination at present. Okay. So, carpet, no. Oh, paper basket.
This is the waste paper basket, look! And there's still rubbish inside.
Indeed. Then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of other waste paper baskets.
I sincerely hope only you for... I sincerely hope only for your work.
Now he's looking inside. Ah. Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago.
3 days ago, the night before we arrived in London then. When I was still aboard myself.
Evacuation drill notice, 31st of October. Following departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew... I was reading that! All crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures.
Oh yes, there was an evacuation drills, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eyes of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once.
The evacuation drill itinerary has been entered into the court record. Can I even check the... Okay, that's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. I cannot even check the court record. An overcoat, shirt, a dressing gown.
Mumuiki Wook's trousers, a Tanzan robe, a Haramaki waistband. Clearly the clothing of a Japanese man.
And clearly Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe.
It looks to me as if they've been thrown in a heap like that in something of a hurry.
Indeed, you could help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I'm sure you'll pay attention to packing too few.
Very likely drowned in one of Seichiro's shirt. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think.
Okay, there was something here. This has been moved because this has been nailed to the wall here. This has been removed, and there's dust marks all around. So there's something behind it.
The wall is a slightly different color just here. Do you see?
Indeed, what you have observed arises when a frame that's been hanging from some time is removed. ... Perhaps your friend is an art thief.
Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure.
He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late.
I think perhaps we should focus our attention elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? Let's not start mixing IP. Especially when there's a Phantom Thief aficionado in the chat. That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere.
Oh.
You're still here.
Ah! Abel Seaman Stroganov. Hello again.
I was beginning to think you'd never materialize.
You're waiting for me?
Of course, I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner.
I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before.
Poor innocent chicken.
It is all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now.
Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done.
What are you talking about?
Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the bearing out of the truth.
Kakoi?
I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoko has not yet left this vessel at all.
Ugh.
And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganov, you know exactly where the man is even as we speak, don't you?
Chicken da. How could you?
Good grace.
Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you worked it out? All of it?
Sholmes da. It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. Exclamation mark. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my inimitable logic and reasoning?
Are we gonna do another one? Oh my god, are we gonna do another one? Oh my god, it's gonna be with Watson. It's gonna be with Mikotoba.
Yeehaw!
Mikotoba da.
Nothing would please me more.
What is this?
Spotlight on the seamen. We have but minutes until the vessel is supposed to sea, so no games now. Yeah! The game is afoot! Time is of the essence! The game is afoot!
Oh, I love this game. The song, the music.
Mr. Stroganov, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoko left the ship some 2 hours ago.
Duh! That is what I said.
Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there's something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it.
What?
Ah, yes, of course.
I see you've done it too, Mikotoba. Then please do take the lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoko having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills, then, Mikotoba.
It's been 10 years since we last did it, Sholmes, not 3.
Why, of course it has. Quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe, and then answers will become clear. So, impress me!
I think I can manage that.
There's a bookshelf.
The ice, the glass containing the ice is not melted.
And this was, he's standing on the pile of clothes. Large trunk. Waste paper basket. Rules of passage. Speaking tube. Glass containing ice. I cannot save anything. Okay, so there's a cabin door. Mark on the wall. Bookshelf. Large trunk. Waste paper basket. I'm gonna say the ice. Break! Oh my god, he's tapping. He's tap dancing.
Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass.
I'm curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand.
Would you mind up the refreshment, Charles?
One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? Spotlight on him. Ugh.
But why would Sishu run from us?
Sholmes dotted that. Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabin of the SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan?
Ah, that's right, they are! I was in the cabin next door and Sishu was, yes, 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage.
As I suspected. For you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide.
What traces?
I know nothing about this.
Ah, this is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff?
Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at?
As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice.
Something's out of place in the air. That's the key to this,
That's the key to this, Mikotoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in the air are being masked by something quite incongruous. I must say I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotoba.
Not quite, but life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here.
Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellows. Okay, we have the rules of passage here and the speaking dude. These are the two things that are out of place. The remnants of the dark deed that took here place are being masked. Okay, I something that says dark deed as say speaking to.
Take that!
Nope. Oh, now I'm losing life. Mikotoba, no games now were my words, were they not?
Come, Sholmes, where's the fun in life without a lot of little fooling around,
Da da da. Quite right you are.
That was a close shave. I'd better retake that before I'm the fool here.
Okay, so it's gonna be the rules of passage. You must tilt your head to one side and listen carefully to the faint cries of the scene. Hear the evidence calling out for you to find it. Here I am, it cries.
Well, your methods were never conventional, but you know I've always been willing to give it another try. Dear God.
Dear God, Mikotoba, open your eyes. It was a metaphorical listening that was suggesting.
Ah.
Okay, the rules of passage.
Take that!
Break!
It's a rule of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall as if they were put there in a hurry.
Yes, I'm sure you already concluded. The frame was originally over here. The shape and size are a perfect match.
Duh, you are right. When did frame move?
Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservation out of your reliability.
Oh dear, that really seems to touch a nerve. So,
Mikotoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall?
Okay. Oh, we're revealing a gunshot wound. I say gunshot wound, but basically it's a bullet hole in the wall. So the rules of passage hides
yeah, the planks are destroyed on the sides. It suggests that.
oh shit.
Did Jigoku actually kill Gregson? Because he was the target? Where did he produce a gun? Was it Gregson's gun? No. Rickson has his own gun. That's weird.
That looks like a bullet hole.
What?
Who has been shooting walls?
I see. The projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room are already disposed of it. Spotlight on chicken. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff.
What?
I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger?
Ah, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good.
Ugh.
I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense as clearly as shown by...
I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes.
Ah, my dear Mikotoba. Simply keep first principle in mind. Study your subject from every angle, and I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I put a wager on it.
So I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides? Well, I can't certainly do that.
Okay, so let's see. What else does he have? He has a wad of banknotes. He's been paid.
Take that!
Breakthrough. Tap dance.
Hey! It's almost too obvious for words.
Why? The universal language of the world. Money.
And I'd wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishiro Jigoku, yes?
Go.
So, I presume you realize what this means? There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice.
But... I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. As always, Mikotoba, in matter of deduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally.
Yes, I think you're onto something now, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly furlow's armor.
We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupil, a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention. Even that which is barely perceptible.
You could only call it barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious.
We shall let your tapping toes decide, my dear fellow. So he's looking at the floor. Don't tell me he's in the large trunk. That's why he removed the clothes to hide inside of here. But he locked himself in. I was gonna get out. The large trunk.
Take that!
Oh my god. He's an idiot. The judge is an idiot.
You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you?
Ugh.
The truth is, Seishiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk.
If he still has a breath to take. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible.
But how can we? Are you forgetting about the combination lock? We don't know the 7-digit code.
Ah, the combination lock can be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure.
Of course!
In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. And I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. Gulp. Oh, wait. It says Sholmes, but when you're looking upside down, it's actually numbers. 5231045. There you go. Boom.
No, I know nothing about combination code.
Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Oh. Now, Mikotoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk?
How on earth do you expect me?
It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time.
Oh, what did I just say?
5231045. 5 1 2 3 4 4 3 0 1. Oh shit, I have to type Sholmes. Okay, 4. This is 4. No, wait. It's 5-2. SH. No, it's 0 1 5231045. SHOLM. Yes, but it should be 3. Crap. I need to look at the review scene. Ah, I can review the scene. 5231 045. 5231 5231 5231 045. 5231 045.
Take that!
There you go. Click.
That did it! It's open! You had to meddle, didn't you?
He's worried. He's a contortionist. Judge Jigoku is a yoga master. Confirm.
Well, Eugen, you found me now. Seishiro!
And he gets out.
I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely surprised, I take it. No, quite. I was just wishing it were some other way.
Well, are you ever going to introduce me?
Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion.
The devil is in the details, Mikotoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion, who made the cowardly decisions to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour.
I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, are you going to explain all of this? You know it all by now, I imagine. That you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey? Yes, I since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I have no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say.
It's somewhat surprising, I must say.
What is?
Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamship are in very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available.
So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased the ticket and here I am.
I've just seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you already purchased your return ticket in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it?
Eugene, I have nothing to say to you.
Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will be set off in its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once.
You have no jurisdiction over my movements.
We have this, Seishiro. Take it.
What's this?
He seems to frown.
What is it?
It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramification of ignoring a document like this from the British court would be.
You came prepared then, Eugene.
Come on, let's go.
One moment.
What is it, Sholmes?
Inside Mr. Jikoku's trunk, I found this rather fascinating trinket. Oh, it's the other end of the pocket watch of Gregson. Why does he have it in his trunk? Oh my god, don't tell me he's the real Reaper. Please. Please.
What is
that, Seishiro?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what? I have no idea.
By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know.
Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France. Small component has been entered into the court record.
Well, young Naruto, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant.
Alright. 3rd of November, 12:10 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. I have 50 minutes left. If that doesn't end and in a natural way, I have to end the stream right now. Okay. Okay, I can check the court record now. Great. There you go. Evacuation drill itinerary. All crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures. This drill will take 20 minutes. Crew to resume duties as soon as the drill is over. So he was alive at 10:20. If Gregson was in the ship and nothing was suspicious. And then we have this little thing, small component. It broke. It fits on the... You see these little things all over the place, don't you? It's a part of the top of a pocket watch that you twist to set the time, isn't it?
It's called a crown, I believe. A watch would be quite useless without one.
The crown, like what it sits on top of a monarch's head? That's a very grand name for such a tiny pot. But actually...
Yes, Mr. Naruto?
If this is a crown, I have a feeling I might have seen a monarch around here somewhere with a very bare head.
If by monarch you mean pocket watch, then I'm quite sure you have.
Yep. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to see the pocket watch. And I'm gonna see the top of it. Da. What do you think, Mr. Zato?
I feel sure I know exactly what will fit here.
Really? I was just thinking precisely the same thing.
We're about to see what the little round component is actually part of Inspector Gregson's broken pocket watch.
Really? I was just thinking precisely that too. And it fits.
A perfect fit!
Oh, I knew it! Alright, perhaps you knew it.
I'll make a note of this new information at once.
Small component, a small machine that part of Mr. Sholmes found in Judge Jigoku's cabin on the SS Grouse. It's now clear that the missing crown of Inspector Gregson's pocket watch. The details most... Okay, they've been updated. There you go. Kasuma Asogi. I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie. But still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. During the past 30 minutes, while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained.
We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed.
Van Zeeks, ...
There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for immediate verdict.
Objection!
No, the trial cannot end now.
You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword.
And you should know never to presume when the battle is won.
The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. And there can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty.
All relevant testimony? Far from it. There's still a crucial witness from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, Counsel. Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible.
The witness is already on his way and scheduled to arrive tomorrow.
Who on earth is this crucial witness?
Seishiro Jigoku, the very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper.
Judge Jigoku? You found him?
Rubble. But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Jigoku is already dead. Standing up. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death, because along with Prosecutor Asogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Seishiro Jigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on the 31st of October. Rubble. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. Kazuma,
The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jigoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered.
In that case, I hereby call an end of today's proceeding. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objection from either side? No, my lord.
No objection, my lord.
Van Zeeks, We'll live to fight another day. By the skin of our teeth. Kazuma, To be continued. There you go. Alright. This will mark the end